The Sacramento Kings and DeAaron Fox are really coming, and I think soon, teams will start to respect them a little bit more. It was very telling a few weeks ago before the NBA restart, and the only teams people were really mentioning to actually clinch that 8th seed were the Grizzlies, Pelicans, Blazers, and Suns. I mean, DeAaron had the perfect response to the entire thing. It seems like Fox and the Kings have become somewhat of an underrated team. So let's talk about the Kings and some moves that they could actually make to make this team into a championship contender. If you enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate it if you went ahead and subscribed, dropped a like on this video, and of course left a comment on it. And other than that, make sure to go and check out all the other videos on this channel. I just did one talking about Kawhi Leonard and the Clippers, and one talking about the future of the Atlanta Hawks. But other than that, let's get straight into this video about the Kings. Let's get it. A few days ago, I dropped this poll on Twitter, and it pretty much asks, who is the better player, Ja Morant or DeAaron Fox? And by no surprise, Ja won. But in reality, I think Fox is better. And that's no offense, because I think that Ja is a really special talent, but where it currently stands, I think Fox is better, because Fox is actually the only real talent on the Kings right now. I mean, yeah, they have Harrison Barnes and Buddy Hield, and we really haven't seen Marvin Bagley, but they're also coming in with Luke Walton, who to me is a decent at best coach, but he's definitely not great at all. When I say that DeAaron Fox is pretty much the only real talent on that team, I mean that he's the only one that I wouldn't even consider trading at all, because he could be a guy that you actually build around. The fact that this team is even on par with the team like the Blazers and actually potentially make the playoffs is very impressive. And I just think that if this roster was healthy all year, because Bagley missed most of the season, Fox missed a couple of games, Holmes missed a couple of games, same thing with Bogdanovich and most of this roster. Just imagine if this team was healthy all season. Because I think that if they were, no doubt, they would be in the playoffs right now and they wouldn't be fighting for anything right now. But just to take a deeper look in this team, let's first talk about the young talent that they actually have on this roster. And of course, we're going to be starting this thing off with DeAaron Fox, because I think he's obviously the best player on this team. And I'm really happy with the development he's made the past few seasons. I mean, I've seen him play since like middle school, since he grew up around the same area. He's consistently gotten better and better every single year. He's a great athlete, a great playmaker, and he's arguably the fastest player in the league right now. One of the question marks coming into the NBA and during his rookie season was his shot. He's worked on it and improved his 3-ball every single year, which is why I think he's going to be a top 5 point guard eventually, if not better. Because if you look at NBA history, it's really rare to see point guards improve their shot this much. I mean, you can name a plethora of great talented playmaking point guards who never really fixed that jump shot. Anyways, this season, he averaged 20 points per game, 6.8 assists per game, 4 rebounds, while shooting 48% from the field and 31% from the 3. Mind you, he was coming back from an injury, and it should be noted that last season, in 81 games, he shot 37% from the 3. So I'm sure that the low percentage from 3 this season really just comes from him trying to actually readjust. But other than Fox, the other potential young star on this roster is Marvin Bagley III. And look, I was pretty high on him coming into the NBA draft, and looking back, he really shouldn't have been the 2nd overall pick, but that's just hindsight because of players like Luka and Trae Young. But it's still way too early to judge him in my opinion. I mean, I've seen a lot of flashes of just how good he could actually be, and I still think that he could be a really good player on this team. He just needs to stay healthy and available. But it's no question, at this point, he's definitely a question mark. And thinking back on it, I mean, the Kings had a few options there. I mean, maybe they don't go after Trae or Luka because those players don't particularly fit this team. But there was also a couple of other options out there too. I mean, just looking at the rest of this roster, it's Buddy Hield, who I honestly think has 6th man of the year potential. And I know that he doesn't really like coming off the bench a lot, but that could be what's best for the whole team. I mean, this season, he's putting up nearly 20 points per game and shooting almost 40% from the 3-point line. They also have Rashawn Holmes, who is easily having his best season of his career. And of course, Harrison Barnes. Yes, he is very overpaid, but he is a well above average player in the NBA. I mean, they also have Harry Giles, but just like Bagley, I think it's a little too early to actually judge him. Other than the current roster and players, I do think that going forward, this team is going to be too good to really get a top draft pick, but not good enough to actually contend. unless something crazy happens. I mean, look at this year's draft. If they land in the lotto, I would tell them to try their hardest to maybe go after Jaden McDaniels, because I see him as one of those flyers with very high upside. Somebody that's actually worth taking a gamble on. I mean, it's the same thing with possibly Denny Avdija or Devin Vassell. It really just depends because, like I said, they are really in a precarious situation because, like, I made videos on the Hawks, on so many other teams, but the Kings, it's like, I don't really see it there. And just as far as free agency goes, I mean, I could see them getting a few solid role players. I mean, if you overpay them a bit, and they should definitely max out every restricted free agent possible. So B.I., Bam, Jalen, like anybody that you can get, any restricted free agent, you guys should shoot your shot at them because you never know if they're not gonna match it. So that's where I think it's gonna be very difficult for the Kings to actually contend. And trust me, their front office does not help this thing at all. As a matter of fact, a lot of the time they make it work. I mean, they were forced to trade away Boogie a few seasons ago because they were never able to build around him. And there's a slight possibility that this occurs again with DeAaron Fox, because at this moment, I don't see any real possibility of them really being able to do that. I just don't see it. I mean, I don't see them really fighting for a championship, and I don't see a realistic, successful pathway for them to actually reach the NBA Finals. So guys, while I was actually recording this video, there has been some reports from Brian Windhorst that Miami may forego Bam Adebayo's option, and if that happens, because Miami's plan is for them to go and get Giannis next year, but if this happens, the Kings need to offer that man a bag because, I mean, him and De'Aaron Fox are still pretty good friends and they played in college at Kentucky. So maybe getting Bam is a possibility. But like I said before, you guys, who really knows? I really want you guys to go and drop some suggestions in the comment section below for some of the Kings fans out there, man, because I really want this franchise to succeed. So please make sure to go ahead and drop some realistic options for this team in the comment section below, whether it's for the draft, free agency, just some players that this team can actually go after, man, because just because this team is a little bit underrated right now, it doesn't mean that they're going to be becoming contenders soon. I still think that they are a long ways away from actually contending for anything. So yes, like I said before, make sure to go ahead and drop some trade ideas, free agency ideas, all of that stuff in the comment section below. I cannot wait to be down there replying and just interacting with you guys. But other than that, you guys, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to go ahead and subscribe, drop a like, and of course share the video. And as I said, if you guys missed my last one I did with the Atlanta Hawks, check out that video, as well as the one talking about Kawhi Leonard and just his weird legacy overall. Check out all of those videos, y'all. And like I said, man, if you guys are a Kings fan, drop a like on this video. Tell me where you guys think the Kings are going to be in about 5 years. Let me know. But other than that, you guys, I'll see you guys in the next one. I am out. Peace, y'all.